Hey everyone, this is Daniel, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at how to recognize text such as email addresses, phone numbers, and other entities using Power Automate for desktop. And the example that I'm going to go through is a very specific one, but something you might be facing as well, is that data is coming in very regularly and being dropped in a location, and you need an automated process to go ahead and get the data, but also digest it, as in, is the text a phone number? Is it an address? What is the text? Massage that data, and then you can go and place it in whatever destination you want. So stick around, there's a lot to learn, but first, here's my intro video. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is show you a working model of what this Power Automate desktop flow is all about. So here we've got an actual inbound folder location, the location where you actually go and drop stuff, and it can be automatically dropped over there. Here is the actual file tab. As you can see, it's a simple text file, and it gives you information about the user and the asset of that user in that specific location. All right, so it's got the user's information, what flow it is, IP address, and then the total weight of that asset which is there. Right, so this type of data comes in on a regular basis and it's dropped in this location. So now, thanks to the Power Automate desktop flow, how is it able to go and extract that? Well, let's take a look. So the flow is already running in the back end, and now I'm going to pretend like the data came in. Moment that happens, the flow triggered off, and see, as you can see in the back, the data already got presented. Now sure, I put that in as a message, but instead of the message, you could go and put that in somewhere else. But let's take a look at this. All right, so here on the side-by-side comparison, here is what the data came in from that text box. It's this type of information, user, floor, and everything. But you see how Power Automate desktop went and did that? It recognized what of this is an email address. The floor, I put that in as second, second floor, but it went and captured that second as 2. It recognized that this was an IP address, and then over here it says total hardware weight in 20 pounds. It recognized that content weight as 20 pounds as well. So how did this happen? What was the logic of the floor? Now let's go and build something like this from scratch. So I'm going to come over here to my Power Automate for desktop, and I'm going to go and now build in a recognize entities live demo. Right, so we're going to build that, and now we're going to actually go into the console area. This is where we'll start building. You've seen me build a whole bunch of these. I'll go and minimize the back window. I'll go and make this big, and here we're going to go and start building it. So the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and grab something called as wait for file. This is what it is. There's wait for process and there's wait for file. We are going to wait for that file that comes in to that specific location. And there's a couple of options. The wait for file to be created, wait for file to be deleted. In our case, the wait for file to be created. Now remember, we're not actually creating the file over there. The file gets dropped in that location, but it's the same as getting created. Okay, so it's the same thing. So, and by the way, you only have two options. There's created and deleted. So in our case, it's going to be wait for file to be created. Now ours is going to be a very specific file location and file type. So you've got to actually go ahead and give the full name. So I'm going to go and grab, first of all, that URL location, or it's called the file path. Go and drop that over here. And then I need to be also very specific about what is that file location. So if I go and actually grab that, it's called data file. If I will go ahead and right click on that and see the properties, this is a type text. See dot text. So get the whole thing. Data file, and then what is the file extension? So I'm going to type that in as data file.txt. Okay. Very important step. This is the first step that actually gets the whole flow started. So now that we got the wait for file completed, the next thing that we have to do is read the text from the file. So again, come up to the top actions. I'm going to X out of this one, delete it, and I'm going to start saying read text. And there you go. That's the read text from file. So I'm going to drag it, drop it down over here, and then it's going to be what is the file path. That is going to be the exact same thing. So I know I'm getting an error over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the top. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this entire thing, highlight it, Control C, cancel out of this one, go to read text for file, and I'll paste it. And then that is how it's going to be. And just as a quick look, there's different options over here. Single text value. You can put it listed as each item. You've got different options over here. I'm just going to leave it as is, and I'll go and click on save. And then after we do that, you see it goes and automatically puts it into a variable called file contents, which is great. I don't want to make any changes to it, so I'll leave that as is. Now comes the fun part, is recognizing all of this information. So let me just show you. Again, I come into the actions, I delete what I have over here, and you just start typing in recognize, and this is the one. Under text, you see recognize entities in text. And as I keep my mouse on it, you see that this pop-up comes up, says recognize entities in text such as numbers, units, date and times, and other expressed in natural language across multiple languages. So again, drag it, drop it, because this is pretty awesome. Now, a couple of things that we have to populate over here, and this is all based on what is the content that we want to get. So as a quick recap, if I just go ahead, open this up and just see what this data is, now you and I can put our brains together and figure out, okay, what is the text time that we want to get? Now, the R user 1234, you and I know what that is. That's an email address. The term second, well, that gets a little confusing, so we'll deal with that in a minute. Over here, IP address, well, I already said it. What is that? It's an IP address. And then the total weight is 20 pounds. Again, that 20 pounds sometimes can be a little confusing, but we'll deal with that in a minute. So these are the 4 things that we've got to figure out. Our text needs to be recognized in this scenario. And then when I'll show you this, you'll get ideas for your own scenario. So let's start with the first simple one, and then we'll deal with the other ones. First things first is that text to recognize, we only have one text, it's file contents. So I'll just select that as is. And then the first thing you want to do is take a look at this drop down and see what is all this list options we have here. So we've got date, time, dimensions, temperature, just a whole bunch of things over here that we want to work with. But the first thing we have is an email address. Remember that email address that came in? So I'll just select with email address. And then after that, you've got this variables. So we've got to go ahead and now give that variable a name. So I'm going to go ahead and now expand this one, double click on this, and then in the var recognize, in the recognize entities, you want to go ahead and now rename that a bit. So I'm going to now go and say var recognized, and I'll just, instead of entities, I'll go and say emails. Now be mindful, you've got language options over here, right? There's a bunch of these languages. So in your scenario, this is the additional step that you might have to take. But in my case, English is just fine. So I'll go and click on save. And that is done over here. Now the next step doesn't come naturally, but I need you to be aware of that, is that we've gone ahead and recognized the text, but what we got to do is retrieve it. So for that, you've got to go ahead and do retrieve data table column in list. So like I said, this step doesn't come naturally, because you would think that recognize entities in text, I've gone in and grabbed all the entities, I've gone in and put it over here. Why am I not able to get all this information in? That's because all the data that is recognized, it just goes and sits over here. I don't have an easy way to go and retrieve that and place it in a place, because remember, there might be more than one email address, more. So it's not just best to keep it in this one out-of-the-box variable. You want to go and grab that and place it in a list type of fashion. And if you're not sure what list is, I've got a whole video on variables. I put that in the description below. Go take a look at that, because the variables list is a type of a variable, which is basically just like a column in an Excel spreadsheet. You've got the title and then a whole bunch of cells. Well, that's basically a list. So our data table, well, that's the one that we just created, the variable on the top. So I'll go ahead and select on this variable and grab this one right from the emails. And then the column name or index, well, that again doesn't come very intuitively, because if I go and click over here, this side with the file contents, it just keeps going bigger and bigger. And there's a lot over here to kind of figure out what is it. Should I just go get the file contents? What do I go and get? And plus, what is basically the column name? So the column name for this, go ahead and just type in value. And that's how you'll get the information that you want. Trust me, I'll show you that in a minute. And then the variable produced, again, I just want to go ahead and now change the variable. And in this case, I'll just go and pick the whole thing name as email address. And then I go and click on save. And so we are now done with the first one. So just so that you understand what is going on, I want to at least go ahead and add that last message step, all right? That way you at least see, hey, is any of this making any progress whatsoever? And it is. Here's the display message, drag and drop it over here. So the message title, I'm going to say data we retrieved. And then the first one is going to be email. Right? And then I'm going to go and grab the variable. So the variable is going to be the email address. That's the last one we did for retrieve data table. If you see over here, it was the email address. Right? So don't accidentally get that var recognized one, get the email address. So I'll grab that, this email address, I'll click on select, save, and then I'll go and click on this here, save as well. Remember, we're always going to be good stewards of saving it. And then after that, we can go ahead and now run this as a test. So what I'll do is I've already got the file over here. Let's just pretend that I'm going to delete that file because we want to go and actually trigger this as a real world scenario. So when I click on run, it's going to come to this first action and it's going to wait over there, which is the right thing to do. And then after that, I'll go and drag this file, and when I drop it over here, the flow kicks in and it ran through and it gave us our email address. So as you can see, now you understand what's happening. It is smart enough to look at the entire text file and only grab the email address that we want. So it's making sense? Cool, because now let's go and start working on the other ones. So I'll close this and the flow is done. I'll also go and delete this section over here because we also want to keep having this empty. So when we drag and drop, the flow will actually work properly. Okay, so I'll go and come back over here. And now I want to go ahead and now work on the other data that I want to do. All right, so the other data of actions will just drop it after step number 4 or action number 4. So the email address entity was the very first one that we did. Now I want to go and grab all these other ones. So what is that other one? So let's go take a look at our text file again. The next thing we want to take a look at is the floor. What floor is this asset on? And so for that, we are going to now go and look at what's this ordinal functionality. And one of the things we can do to save our time and effort is just highlight 3, hold your shift button down, come to 4, now do a Control C, Control V, and right after 5 and 6, we've automatically got those 2 steps. So the most of the work is done, we just got to come in and tweak it. So the file content is still there because that's the way it's coming from. This one is going to come from ordinal. And the ordinal, well, that's going to be the floor. So now we can go ahead and rename this variable a little bit. Double click on that and it's going to be var recognized, and I'm going to replace emails with floor. So I'm just going to call that as floor. Click on save. That step is done. Let's go and now retrieve this, and that's going to be from the not var recognized emails. It's going to be from the var recognized floor, selected, and then this variable, we'll go and change that to floor. And now I'll go and click on save. Let's go to our display message, and then over here, I'll just type in floor, put that colon, type that in, grab the floor number, click on select, save, click on save again. Let's run this, and now we will see how that data of that floor number is retrieved. So I'll just come back in. The floor over here is second, a full text second, but the flow should be able to recognize that. So I'll drag it, drop it, triggered the flow, and then there you go. Email address came in, and then the floor number 2 also came in. This is really exciting stuff, by the way. So I'll click on OK, and what we'll do is now let's go ahead and actually finish off the remaining pieces. So I'll come back in to our flow, finish off the remaining ones, which is basically the IP address and the weight. So I'll go grab these 2 again. So I'll go and do 5 and 6, highlight the 2, Control C, Control V. This one, the file contents is perfect, but this is now going to be the IP address. So we'll go and grab the IP address, and then we're going to replace the variable name, var recognized, and I'll just change that floor. I'll just go and type in IP, save it, and then in the retrieve data table, I'll change that var recognized floor. That's going to be var recognized IP. Got to scroll down a little bit, grab that. And then the variable, I'll just go and change that to IP. That's right here. Save it. And then I come back to the display message, and I'll put in right over here, IP address, put this in, go and grab the term IP, select, save. I'll go and highlight these 2 again, 7 and 8, highlighted with the shift button down. Now I'm doing a Control C, and then I'll do a Control V. And then the last one is going to be the weight. And so the weight is actually of a type dimension. So if you scroll up, this is what it is called, dimension, all right? And then we go and change the variable name. I'm going to go and change from recognize IP to recognize weight. Save it. Reselect. Go to the last action. Change this data table. This is going to be a variable type weight. Selected. Variable produced. Well, that's just going to be weight. WEIGHT, save it, and then come to our final message. And in our final message, I'm going to say content weight, and then I'll go ahead and put in the actual weight, not the var variable weight, but the actual weight. Select that, and I'm going to after that also say in pounds. Okay, I'll click on save. So that all information comes in. Let's go and save the whole thing, be as good stewards. And then now I'll go and click on run. So once we click on run, it'll come to the first one action, it'll wait over there. And then here, I'll go and drop the file as if it automatically came in. The flow went and triggered, and then right over here, the entire message came up. Email address, floor, IP address, and then it also picked up the weight. The weight also came in as 20 pounds because that's where we grabbed it over here. So quick review of those entities that we just built. So I'm going to go back into our flow and just review those entities. So for the email address, that was pretty simple and straightforward. For the email, there is already an entity type called email, and that's what basically we used. Next, it was for the floor. So when we go and click on the floor, its entity, we went and selected that as ordinal. Now, ordinal it means basically means that anything which you have first, second, third, last, like that's defined as an ordinal. And so in our case, that ordinal was actually the floor, what floor it is in. So therefore, I went and used the entity type ordinal for that, and therefore it picked that up as a floor. Remember, in our text, it was second, S-E-C-O-N-D. But when we went and put that in our message, we put in the number 2. That is how smart this ordinal entity is over here. All right, so let's keep going. Okay, we went and did the recognized entity now for the floor. The other recognized entity was for the IP address. Well, that was pretty simple because there is an entity type IP address. Nothing big about that. We went and captured it. Now, the last one was of a type weight. So on the weight for the entity type that we used was basically the type dimension, because that's how it was able to understand what is this dimension, and it was able to recognize that, oh, in this case, that was actually the weight. So dimension is a very important entity type specifically for my scenario. In yours, you might have something similar as well. So you just have to realize when that dimension should be used. And then after all of those routine, we went ahead and displayed this entire message. But remember, you may have something different, and that's completely fine because I have already captured everything and assigned them to variables. See, these variables are already coming in. So you could take that data and now do whatever with it. Go ahead and save it to your Excel spreadsheet, or go ahead and open up Mail and send it somewhere. You've got all the data. All you have to do is go ahead and now put the destination wherever you want. So get yourself familiar with all these entity types, because the one I did in the demo was just a few. If you take a look at the link in the description, you'll actually be pleasantly surprised at how many there are. A couple of things I'd like to bring to your attention is it has GUIDs. IT professionals are very familiar with this concept of GUIDs. You got hashtags, something that you could be useful for social media content, and any text that is coded, like the double quotes, you can go and grab that entire thing as well. So there's a lot of options available. I highly recommend that you go and take a look at that link. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. And as always, keep using Power Automate for desktop. Hello, hello, hello. So if you like this video, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and smash that like button. Also, if you have a few extra seconds, can you go and put in a comment? Either say something nice or give me ideas for my next video. And until then, see ya.